Hello, hello. Are you there? Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Are you there? Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Are you there? Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Telegram. Good morning. All right. How is everything? How is everything? Okay. All right. So, for today is Thursday, right? 22nd, and so first of all, you have to check what will be happening at the macro level, the macro economies. So at the macro level, these are the things that you are expecting to happen within the session or within the day. So today, I'm not sure I'll be taking any trade today because of how impactful the day will be. So mostly we are going to focus on the fundamental part. We are going to see how it usually affects the market. So around 7:15 a.m. we are going to have French flash manufacturing PMI. So mostly the ISMI is the one that is impactful, but they're all impactful. Okay, so if you are trading, what do you call it? If you are trading any other pair, so during the lending session, don't say because you trade only GBP, so you are not going to consider this high impact news into consideration. It's really going to affect the market, so you have to pay attention to them. Euro or whatever the pair that you are trading, this news is going to affect it. So the most important thing is anytime that you are taking a trade during the lending session, and when you see a high impact news like this, you have to maybe an hour or 30 minutes before the news try and stay out from the market, unless maybe you are in a trade before the time. If you are in a trade before the time, and let's say maybe you are in a break-even stage, maybe the trade has moved in your favor, the most what you are going to do is you either break even, okay, when the news is in your favor, when the trade is in your favor, maybe you are in profit, you have to, and it hasn't gotten to your target. What you can do is what you break even and you allow the trade to run. And if maybe you are in a if the trade isn't, if you are not in profit, what you can do is either put your stop loss. You have to set a stop loss. If you have not set a stop loss, you have to set a stop loss, okay, so the news won't affect you. That's how you usually go by it. So if you are in a trade and the trade hasn't gotten to where you are expecting, you either break even. And if you are in drawdown, you put your stop loss in place so that the news won't maybe blow your account. You get it? The news won't blow your account. So you have French flash manufacturing PMI, French flash service PMI, Germany flash manufacturing PMI. So all these news are going to be impactful in the market. So 7:15, 7:30, 8 o'clock. So almost all the lending session is a busy time today. Okay, 8:32 we have the same news event, and around 12:32 you have unemployment claims, flash manufacturing PMI. So today is a very busy day. Okay, and you have some medium impact news. So let's analyze, and after that we talk about what the news really means before 7:15 will happen. So we have more time. So this is the trade we took yesterday. It got to the target exactly. You see how it's got to the target. So that's why it's always important that it's important when you know where you are targeting, okay, or you set your stop take profit in place. So when the trade gets to your take profit, don't hesitate to, you have to take profit, okay, you have to take profit. Don't allow the trade to maybe move. Either you are, if you have high hope that the trade is going to move further up, you either take some of the position and you allow the rest to run. Take majority of the position and you allow the rest to run. You see that this was the target yesterday. This was the target yesterday, and it got to the target exactly. You get me? You get it got to the target exactly. So all this move is a fake out. So you have to know how to be able to determine your take profit, or how to even draw support. How to even draw the support and resistance, because I use the support and resistance to determine where the market is going to head to. So there was no magic in this thing, just simple or basic concept. So let's see what will happen to today. Let me clear the chart. So today, so on the monthly time frame, of us start at the monthly time frame. So the same thing every day. In trading, as I always say, when you get a skill set, the only thing that is going to change for you is your loss size. Nothing changes. Your loss size is what you are going to what changes. So that means what you are going to increase your loss size. But how you analyze the charts, how you look at things, your emotions, your psychology towards the chart is going to be the same thing every day. The only thing that is going to change is your loss. The only thing that is going to change is your loss size. The only thing that is going to change is your loss size. So we plot the support and resistance, the valid support and resistances. So we have one over here. So looking at the monthly time frame, if this month is going to close like this, that means we still have some up. You still have an uptrend move for GU. If this month is going to close like this, and you have August has really run fast. So the month by next week it will end. If it closes like this, then you have it has some potential of getting to this target. Okay. It has some potential of getting to this target. That's the monthly time frame, but it hasn't closed yet, so it can wick down like how it did over here. Okay, so with this move to, we were thinking it is going to move to this side, and it's wick down. That's why I always say, or I always recommend you to wait for a candle to close before you make a conclusion on either there was a shift in trend or a shift in structure. That's the most important thing. So we move to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, So with the weekly time frame, you identify the various support and resistance too. So usually I don't pay attention to the trend at the weekly time frame. What I usually pay attention to on the weekly time frame is what my various key levels or my various zones. So we have a zone 2 over here. This is the valid one. So you see, this was the target that we indicated yesterday. So we have another one over here. So if price is moving down, this is the point it is going to retrace on. Okay, it will be moving up, retrace on here. This will be the first point that it can retrace on, or either it will come here, either it will come here. Then the moment it breaks one, then what, structure has fully what, invalidated, structure has changed. Okay, so this is the point it can what, retest, or it can retest over here. 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 These are the levels, the sensitive levels that price might respect. So the moment, this is the last point that price is supposed to retest. If it refuses to retest over here, then the moment it breaks through, price is going to be what, invalidated. So let's move to the daily time frame. So this is the point I'm going to look for the trend and where I'm asking the buyers I'm going to follow for the day. So on the daily time frame, we have let's check the valid support and resistances. So now price is what? Price is retesting on this level. So this is the next level. In case it is retracing, this is the next level what it is going to retrace on. But since price is already up, let's check if it is moving up. The next point that price might what expect, because in a trade where we are going to be in a drawdown, we want to enter a trade where the moment we enter, we are going to be in profit. So this is the next level that price might what retest. So if it breaks this zone, this is the next level too. This is the next level. Okay, so these are the various levels that price might what retest on it. So when you move to the weekly time, the daily time frame, daily is already what? Daily is already an uptrend. Okay, so daily is what? Uptrend. Daily is uptrend. So most of the times, we usually prefer when two time frames are in sync with each other. When two time frames are in the same direction, that's the best advice or the best trade to go for. So let's move to the H4 time frame and see what's going to happen over there. So at the daily, H42 is what? An uptrend. H4 is in an uptrend in the sense that you did higher high, high low, higher high, higher low. Okay, so we have continuation of what? Bullish candle. So H4 is what? You don't need an external tool to tell you it's an uptrend. With just your eye, you'll be able to know it's what? In an uptrend. So this is what? An uptrend. So H42 is what? So when you see something like this, or if you see something of this sort, what you have to do is what? Follow the direction of the market. That's the most important thing. You follow the direction of the market. You follow the direction of the what? The market. So for today, when it comes to the entry, we have a resistance over here. Okay, even this zone is not something worthwhile to trade. So when it comes to the entry, we are going to wait for price to, so it will be something the same as what happened yesterday, the trade we took on yesterday. We are going to wait for the break. We have some price action to the left. So when you look to the left, so you see we have some nice, we have no support or resistances over here. So this is the zone that you are supposed to trade within. Okay, no supports and resistances within this zone. So what you are going to wait for, a break. We are going to wait for the H4 to break this zone, because it needs to break this zone. In the sense, you have to wait for the candle to break and close within this zone, above this zone, to take what? A buy. Because when the price got to this level, what did they do? It tried to what? Break and retested, came into this zone. Okay, so this tells you that this zone is very strong. This zone is very strong, because from experience, or from the past data, we realize that price tried to what? Break to this zone, and what? It came back. So this gives you an indication that this zone is very strong. This zone is very strong. So you have to pay attention to the zones. So this is what you are going to wait for. You are going to wait for price to break and close, like what it did yesterday. We waited patiently for what? The candle to break and close within the zone, then we took the buy. Okay, we took the buy. So it's the same thing that we are going to wait for. Then we're going to take a buy over here. So this is a breakout entry that we are going to expect today. Then we target this zone to the next zone. Okay, so we trade in zone to zones to the next zone. This, the only, you are going to get a breakout what entry over here. Or what you can do again too is, if price, what you are going to expect is, if price break through this zone, if price break through this zone, if you don't get a breakout, this is what we are going to expect. We are going to, if maybe a bearish candle forms, okay, if a bearish candle forms, like this, then we take the next trade to the target. This is something you are going to expect in case maybe you don't get the breakout. So this is a break and retest kind of entry. Okay, so this is what you are going to expect on GU today. But before that, as I said, anytime you see a strong area of interest, like the daily, the weekly, the monthly, what you have to wait for is what? Wait for a higher time frame to break. Okay, even though we are in volume time, if 1 hour, if the H1 candle breaks like what I showed you, if it breaks, I'm not going to take it, because it's not a stronger confirmation time frame for me. To me, it's not stronger confirmation time frame, so I'm not going to take a breakout on the H1. What I'm going to wait for is what? I'm going to wait for the H4 to break above this one, then I will take a trade on a key level. So this will be the key level that I'm going to take a trade on. Okay, so this is what I'm going to expect on GU. So now what we are going to wait for, what we are going to wait for the closure. You don't have to take an impulse entry. Wait for candle to close. Impulse entry is when the candle is ongoing. So I'm sure when the news events start hitting the market, we are going to what? We are going to see a breakout. We are going to see the candle breaking out. So if today is not purposely for trading, we are going to observe the fundamentals, because we are going to see a lot of news events, and it's not advisable to be trading those times. Okay, unless maybe you are trying to trade the news. I don't trade news. You get it? I don't trade news. I wait for candles to close. I wait for when there's no high impact news. That's the best times to trade. So that's what you are going to wait for. So I'm sure the news event is going to break out these zones, but we have a lot of zones over here. So that's what you are going to expect on what GU. So let's look at gold to then see. So yesterday we projected for. So I think it's consolidated yesterday. Okay, it's consolidated. Gold is still okay. It's still in a consolidation. Okay, even though. So let's move to let's analyze from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. So there was nothing to look for on gold on the higher time frame, as I've been saying always. When you look left at the monthly time frame, there was no data for you to even take it into or factor it into your analysis. So there was no need for you to look at your left. There was no data over there. You see, with price action, what we usually do is what we look at the past data to make our decision. Okay, you look at past data to make our decision. It's like lottery. Lottery too, most of the times what they have to do is what those who do the calculations or the analysis, they have to look at the past data, how the numbers played out, and what they will use it in their decision. It's the same thing in trading. You use past price, what happened in the past times, to make our decision. So when you move to the weekly time frame too, there was nothing better to look for on the weekly time frame. We have a support over here. Is my network okay? So let's move to the daily time frame. So if you people are not hearing me well, let me know. So at the daily time frame too, gold is in what? At the daily time frame, gold is an uptrend. Okay, so we have a support over here. We have a support over here. We have a resistance over here. So on the daily time frame, it's more like gold is what? It's more like gold is in a range. So let's move to the H4 time frame. Why, YouTube, is my network okay for you? Can you guys hear me well? If you can hear me on YouTube, you can hear me. I'm experiencing some slow. Okay. So at the H4 time frame, gold is in an uptrend. Okay, so this is like something like a complex market structure. So it moved higher high, higher low, higher high. So this is the first, this is the high, this is the low. Okay, this is the high, this is the low. So it's consolidated. So the higher high or the trend is going to change when it breaks this low. But we can see from here it has consolidated within this, and it has been consolidating within this end. So it shows you what is still in an uptrend. By this move that you are seeing is what just consolidation. So we call it complex market structure. So unless this high, okay, if you can hear me, it's cool. Unless this high get broken, or unless this low, on what the fuck, unless this high or this low, okay, get broken before it's what this structure will tend to, unless this low gets broken before it will tend to what a downtrend. But for the meantime, gold is what still an uptrend. So daily is an uptrend, H4 is an uptrend. So what are you going to look for? A buy. When you see something of this sort, you don't have to go for a sell unless the market has what proven to you, or unless the market has given you a signal that it is what now a downtrend, before you move to either the lower time frames or your focus time frame to what look for a buy. For today, so this point, so the H1, so when I talk about break, when I'm talking about break, it doesn't mean when the market or when the candle is in section. When you are talking about break, when the candle has broken and closed, that's when you make a decision. But for now, it is still in what a downtrend. Sorry, it is still in a what an uptrend. So unless this point has been broken, so the break I'm talking about is something like this. When you see something like this, many. So when you see something like this, okay, the break that I'm talking about, so you see the dip of this point has been broken, okay, the higher low has been broken, if you can see. So if it breaks, this candle breaks and close within this side before you can see what now the trend has changed. But for the meantime, or for now, it's still what you see, it's retested on this level exactly, and what, so this tells you how strong this point is. So unless it has broken and closed before you can conclude it's what an uptrend. So that's how it works. You get it? That's how it works. So the daily is what an uptrend. H4 is an uptrend. So you have to search for what. So now daily is an uptrend, H4 is an uptrend. So you are looking for what a buy. So this is the zone that we are going to. We have some zone over here that you can trade within. So you see how simple trading is. It's very simple, very simple. So when you move to the H4, we can take a buy on H4 when maybe this candle has closed at the H4 time frame. You can take a buy on H4 time frame when this candle has closed. When this candle has closed like this, okay, when this candle closed like this, then you take the buy maybe over here, then you target this one. But it's not worth it in the sense that looking at your, it doesn't make sense in the sense that looking at your risk to reward, looking at the amount you are going to because if you are taking it at H4, your stop loss is going to be beneath here and you are going to target. So it's almost like 120 pips, okay, and you are going to target like 23 pips, which doesn't make sense. So we are not going to look for entry at what H4 time frame because of how the zone is very tight. So if you want to look for an entry at what, so now H4 is not giving us an entry, so you have to move towards H1 time frame. So when you move to H1 time frame, what you are going to look for is what you have to look for, what a structure which is going to be in accordance or which is going to be in sync with what the higher time frames, your directional or your bias time frame, which is what the daily and H4, and you knew it's what in an uptrend. But when you come to the H1 time frame, you can notice H1 is what H1 is a downtrend, okay, H1 is like a downtrend, but I'm seeing this is invisible, this is not, it's not visible, okay. So you change it to a line chart, so it seems like there was a break. So when you turn it to a line chart, you can see it very well. So are you going to conclude it's an uptrend? are you going to conclude it's an uptrend? Because when the moment it makes something like this, so trading is all about patterns. Study how the pattern works. So the moment it breaks like this, the moment it breaks like this, the moment it breaks like this, it turns an uptrend, and the rest of the support and resistances at your left is invalid now, because now the value support and resistance that we are going to factor is which is going to retest this one, continue. So the one you are going to see at your left is not going to be counted. So like this one, for instance, you see the candle higher high, sorry, yeah, it was higher high, higher low. So the moment this one broke, it turns towards a downtrend. So I'm seeing some structure over here, even though it's not visible, but when you turn it to a line chart, you can see it over well. So when this one breaks and close this one, this supports, this resistance that you are seeing over here is not something that you are going to factor. Okay, it's not something that we are going to take it into consideration. So what you are going to look for, so it seems there's even though the structure isn't clear, but when you turn it to a line chart, you can see it's well. So we are, if you want to take a buy on gold, if you want to take an entry on gold, what you are going to wait for is the same thing. Either you are going to take a breakout entry, so you're either going to wait for the candle to close. So it's always important, don't take an impulse entry or don't buy on a support and don't sell on a resistance. So we are going to wait for the candle to close like this. You see how price is being sensitive to the areas that we draw. Price is being sensitive to those areas. So what you are going to wait for the candle, patiently wait for the candle to close, then you take a buy to the next level. Okay, you take a buy to the next level. So that's what you are going to expect on gold at the H1 time frame. But let's move to the M32 and see whether there was an opportunity. So you see the structure we saw at the H1 has been clear over here. So with the M30, so usually for me, I don't, since if I'm trading currencies, when I see a breakout, what I will be waiting for is I'll wait for the H4 to close. But when it comes to gold is very volatile. So waiting for the H4 to close, you're going to miss the trade. Okay, but for me, when I'm taking an entry on H1 and the a fake out time frame, okay, I see it to be a fake out time frame. By supposing maybe 30, what you are going to wait for is the moment this kind of flip bullish, then you take a buy to this side, which is 1%. Okay, but for me, what I'll wait for the H4 candle to close. When it closes beneath this above this one, then I'll move to the H1 time frame to look for an entry. But since H4 hasn't closed yet, I'm not going to take, even if the 30-minute flip, if the bearish candle flip to bullish candle, I'm not going to take. I'll rather wait for the H4 candle to close above this one, because this is a daily time frame and it's a stronger time frame. Okay, so unless it has flipped before unless the H4 candle has closed before I'll move to the 30-minute to find an entry. You get it? So something like this, maybe if the H4 candle has flipped, if the H4 candle has flipped bullish, like something of this sort, if it's flip bullish, then maybe I'll go to the M30. When I move to the M30, then I'll wait for a breakout like this and take a buy. So that's what usually I look for when I'm taking a trade on 30 minutes. I make sure I'll make sure The H4 has given me a confirmation before I'll move to the lower time frames. That's what usually I do. So that's what usually I look for. So let's move to Euro USD. Ideology that we are going to apply on Euro USD too. So on Euro USD, let me clear everything. So yesterday, what we projected to happen, I don't know. You can go back to the stream yesterday and check what we talked about. My network is on. So yesterday I said, since this zone is what a tighter zone, what I'm going to wait for is what a breakout, then I will take a buy. Okay, but I took the buy on GU because GU was something which was what GU, the opportunity on GU was clear as compared to what the USD. So I think today too, since you'll be having, so there's going to be an opportunity on Euro before the news will happen. I'm sure it's going to move up. So let's move to the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, we're having what a resistance over here. We have a resistance over here. We have a support over here. So we have a resistance over here too at the weekly time frame. So let's move to the daily time frame. So price needs to what? This is the target level. Price needs to touch this side, okay, for the zone to get filled. So let's move to the H4 time frame. So looking at your left too, let's see the next area level that price is going to what? Retest on. This is the next level. Okay, so let me. So this is the next level. So looking at your left, I think you have some price actions. So I think Euro USD is looking good for a buy today. Okay, so Euro USD is looking good. Euro USD is looking good. So now this is the kind of entry. This is a retest entry. Okay, so for you, the best way to go for is also wait for the H4 to close. Okay, it's best for you to wait for the H4 to close. So you wait for the H4 to close. You wait for the H4 to close above this one, because now there's no entry. Even though it has retested on this one, there's no entry at what H4 time frame. So it's the same thing that happened over here. So this one we waited for the H4 to close, then you take a buy over here. This one we waited for what H4 to close, then you take a buy over here. You waited for H4 to close and you take a buy. So the market repeats itself, the patterns repeat itself. Because now if you are taking an entry on H4 time frame, you need to wait for it to create a support. Okay, you need a support to be created. The support as in what is indicating this price, what is indicating that price is going to move up. You need to see some form of indication as in maybe a bullish candle. Okay, you need to see a bullish candle to indicate to you that price is going to move up. Okay, which it doesn't matter about it. The candles, the size of the candle too matter. Okay, the size of the candle, either indecision candle, other engulfing candle, or either what do you call it, sellers and exhaustion candle. So you saw what indecision candles. We saw indecision candle. This one we took a buy last week on this trade. Okay, you saw so indecision candles. So something like what uh buyers are exhaustion candles. Buyers were losing control. Sellers took over. Price moved up. Okay, the same thing. This is an indecision candle. So you have to see something like that before we will try to buy. Okay, we will try to buy. So we have to wait for a bullish candle to happen. But we have fundamental news events over here, which we have euro news over here. So I'm not sure we are even going to get a chance to take this buy. Okay, because today is very impactful day. We are having a lot of news event today around 7:15 lending opens time. So I'm sure so this one is going to move to this side. If not the news today too, you would have gotten a trade to take, but because of the news, so I'm not sure you get a chance to. So we have a range of 68 pips for price to get filled, but because of the news, I'm sure it will happen, or it will move very fast, and it's not going to give us the chance to take advantage of it. So that's what is going to happen on Euro USD. Okay, so this is what you are going to this is what you are expecting on Euro USD today. Okay, this is what you are expecting, because if you look left, there was a clean price action. There was no support and resistances when you are looking left. So this is the next zone. So usually we are going to wait for what we are going to wait for is what sometimes either a breakout. So if the candle close like this, you see you are having what a resistance over here. But since the candle has closed bullish, it indicates to you that what price is about to move up. So the moment it breaks, so this kind of entry is going to be an impulse entry. Okay, impulse in the sense that you are trying to what, even though I've been preaching don't buy on what a resistance and don't sell on a support, by the moment you take a buy over here, you are buying on what a resistance, which is not advisable. So we call it impulse entry. You get me? We call it impulse entry. So when price breaks above this one, you can take a buy, because what is the same thing that happens over here. If you can watch the patterns over here, even though you had a resistance over here, but since so mostly the most important thing when you are trading with the trend, you don't have to be afraid, or you don't have to get scared about either the trade is going to what retrace on you or other stuffs, because the trend is what all the higher time frames are in your favor or in your direction. So you don't have to, you are moving according to the higher time frame, so you don't have to be afraid. So it's the same thing that happens here, even though we had a resistance, and I don't advise buying on resistance or support unless maybe price is at your left. There was a resistance at your left, but when you look at, they are all in the same okay, they are all in the same swing. So this is how it looks like. You get it? This is how it looks like. So rate tested, price moved up, waiting on this move, continue to this end. So that's what I'm talking about. So you can buy, you can at this level, when you see something of this sort, I've tested it for long. Okay, I've done my back testing and I realize it repeats itself. So what you are going to wait for, what a candle closure. But as I'm saying, I'm not sure we are going to get, unless maybe you are going to be an aggressive trader this morning trying to take an impulse entry before you can take the buy. For me, I'm out. I'm not going to take this buy. I'm going to just observe what the news will be doing today. That's what I'm going to do. So at this point, any question on so far what I've done? Yes, sir. Morning. Yeah, so when you yeah. So the reason why I said break even is what yesterday we had FOMC meeting today around 6 a.m. So I was thinking maybe price is going to. So you see, price was consolidating before it even moved up. So as price moved up, I was saying if price move, if maybe this is your target, okay, this is your target. If price moved like some points like this, and this is your stop loss, maybe this is your stop loss, you can move price towards. You can move price. So this is your stop loss. This is your stop loss. This is your stop loss. And this is your entry. So this is your entry. So suppose maybe you entered over here. This is the price you entered, and this is your stop loss. So if price has gotten to, it's about to get your target. So you don't have to watch price to come and hit your stop loss again. You get it? Even though sometimes you have to, like, it's advisable you wait for price to get your target. You don't have to be emotional, okay? But the reason why I said move your stop loss to break even is because of what? Sometimes you might be in a trade and there will be high impact news. So if you get yourself exposed to the market, you turn a winning trade towards a losing trade. So if there was high impact news and other stuffs, what you have to do is what? Move this stop loss, okay? This stop loss, you move this stop loss to what? Break even. So break even is what? You move it to entry. Okay, so you give it, maybe you see anytime you enter the market, when price is coming down, they will take out some spread. Okay, so you move it to maybe 2 pips or 3 pips, okay, above your entry. So when I talk about break even, this is what I'm talking about. You move it above your entry, like 2 pips, 3 pips. Okay, so when price is retracing, it's you are going to what? Either you are not going to lose, you are not going to what? Get anything. Okay, so let's say 0. So that's what I'm talking about. But it's important. It's important to what? Wait for, allow price to get your target. Okay, because when you are losing, you allow the trade to what? Get to your what? You allow the trade to get to your stop loss. So why don't you allow it when it's, don't be emotional. The best thing is what, as I always say, if you are trading with higher time frames, you always have to what? Wait for price to what? Get to your target, because price is most of the time going to get your target. That's the most important. So you see yesterday the price, how price moved very high, because all the higher time frames were what? In an uptrend. Okay, all the higher time frames were in an uptrend. Okay, yeah, someone was asking like, and then yesterday you cash out. So those in those in the YouTube section. So with the private group, the most the advantage side, or the advantage thing, the benefits you get when you join the private group is what? You are going to get free signal. You give signal something on, you won't get everything on the stream. You get it. Sometimes some things are between, we do it in the private group, and you are not going to get access to. That's the most important thing about when you join the private group. So yesterday we took this by, and those who took the entry what? Made some money. Okay, we took this by, everything was given, entry and take profits was given, and it got to the take profit. It is retracing over here, even though it has some potential of moving up, but it took profits over here. The question. Yes, sir. Take profits 1, take profit 2. So I don't do that. I don't do those things. If my target is here, this is my target. Okay, if my target is here, this is my target. I'm going to exit the trade. Either I'm going to what? I'm going to take most. So with the MetaTrader 5, you can modify the trade. So you either take some of the position. Okay, you take majority of the position and you allow the rest to what? Run. Either half or what, but this is the target. So if price gets to this side, I'm expecting price to what? Retrace, come back. So sometimes price might move, okay, but have to have a plan. If price is moving, you don't have to be like, maybe this is the target. The moment you take your profit, the moment you see price moving, then that next time, the moment you allow it to move, it is going to do like this and stop you out. So trading, it's always important to have what? A plan. So this is your plan. This is your plan that price is going to get to this side and it is going to what? Retrace, or this is your take profit. The moment it gets to this side, take your profit and just move, like go out. Just close your machine, laptop, or even you are using desktop, or just shut down your computer and you move out. You've gotten your take profit. You get it? You don't have to like just still be in a trade thinking it's moving up. Maybe first day it will move in your favor, it will go further up, fine. By the next day, the subsequent days, and in trade, if you don't have a plan, you are going to what? Lose a lot. That's why it's always important to allow price to what? Get to your target. Don't be emotional closing trades. Just it's a psychological problem, and I understand that if you are start trading your system at the beginning stage, you are going to find it very difficult to allow it to run. But with time, when you see it happening more often, you are going to allow it to what? Get your target. So you don't have to be bothered about that. In case maybe you will get used to, so it's okay. Yeah, someone was asking something. The modification. So when you move to trade, you are using Android, right? So when you move to the trade, okay, I'm coming. Let me see. When you move to trade, when you long press on the um, when you long press on now on the positions that you've opened, long press on the position. When you long press on the position, you are going to see close position, modify position. So you click on modify position. So when you click on modify position, you can, okay, you move to close position. When you close position, so you readjust or you modify the lot size you are using. Okay, so if you have an open, do you still have an opening position? Okay, so you can just, do you have a demo account? Okay. So you long press on the position. When you long press on the position, there will be a pop-up menu like close position, modify position. So you click on close position. When you click on close position, then you type in the lot size you want to close. Okay, so maybe you've opened like one lot, you want to close 0.6 lots, then you type inside 0.6. So the 0.6 will close. Okay, so you type in, when you long press on the position, then you move to close position, then you type in the position size you want to close. Maybe you open 0.05, you want to close 0.03, then you type in 0.03 there, then you click on close position, the position will be closed. So like, yeah, so if you get a demo account, you can try it out. Okay, or maybe you can use your live account to try it and see. My brainy, you are really cashing out. You are really cashing out. Last week you cash out. You have to pay your tithe. So today too, if not the news, there would have been an opportunity on Euro USD. Because if you can remember yesterday too, you were okay. So let's check out the news event and see. So today is Thursday. So if you want to know the interpretation of how the news works, you click on this folder. Then you read the overall level of a diffusion index based on a surveyed purchasing managers in the manufacturing industry. Level of diffusion surveyed purchasing managers in the So if actual is greater than forecast, it's good for the economy. Above it indicates industry expansion, below indicates contraction. There are two versions of this report released about the final, which the source reported in the economy health business. So now with this news event, so I'm thinking it's supposed to be what, above 50. They said if it is above 50, it shows what, expansion. That means it is good for the economy. But if it is below 50, it means what, contraction, which is where what, very bad for the economy. That means the economy is not doing well. So now it's all what, below 50. So when you look at the flash, so mostly the services are more, from experience, are more impactful than. So we usually consider the service. So I think it's going to be good for the economy because I'm seeing they are forecasting 50.2, and last month on was what, 50.1. So now it's above what, it's about the threshold of what, 50. You get it? So it means what, expansion. And if it is an expansion, that means what, you are expecting an appreciation in the euro currency, or we are expecting what, the euro to be doing well. So you are expecting the euro to be doing well. You get it? You're expecting the euro to be doing well. So if it is 50.2, then you are expecting euro to appreciate in value. So you are expecting what, an upward move. Okay, you are expecting euro to move up. That's what, just a projection. Okay, it's just a projection. It's just a projection. So the news are many. So it's left with 15 minutes for it to play out. So from what you are seeing on Forex Factory, that's what they are expecting. So that's why it's not advisable to be trading it, because so one thing that I've always been saying, it's not advisable in the sense that sometimes you can get some whipsaw. So when you talk about whipsaw, price might looks like it is coming down, then all of a sudden you see what, it's like, oh, it is moving up, it is moving down, sorry, it is moving down. So maybe you place your entry at this level. Maybe this is the point you place your entry. The moment price will get here, you get triggered still in the trade, and all of a sudden you see price what, move up, then it is moving up, then what's if you don't set stop loss, your account is going to be blown. If you set stop loss, you are going to be stopped out. So that's why it's always not advisable. Or if you are trading the news, then you have to be willing that you are going to lose the whole of the amount that you funded the account is. So if you are willing to trade the news, that means you have to have a news account. You get me? You have to have a news account. So when there was an upcoming news, you just fund your account and you trade with the account. That's how you are going to go by it. You trade with that account. But if you are with your normal account or maybe your proprietary firm account, it is not advisable to be playing with that account when there's high impact news, because everything can be wiped out. Okay, can be wiped away. So it's always advisable, if you are trying to take trade news, it's always advisable to be to be having a separate account for that. So we are expecting euro to move up, okay, because according to the interpretation, the service PMI, we are expecting 50.2, which is above the threshold. So we are expecting an expansion in the economy. So if there was an expansion, that means the economy is doing well. So the currency too is going to appreciate in value. So we are expecting the currency to be doing good. So if you are pairing it with the dollar, so with news event, let me educate you on this. With Euro USD, so currencies are traded in pairs. So as you are buying one, you are selling one. Always the base currency is the reference element. Always the base reference. Always the base currency is the reference element. So if I'm saying buy, what you are referring to, what's the base currency. So if you are expecting the euro to be appreciating in value, what you are going to expect is you are expecting the dollar to be depreciating in value. So on the chart, what you are going to see, you are going to see a bullish. If you are expecting, so the colors usually doesn't matter. What is the most important is you understanding the opening and the close of the candles. That's the most important. But the way I've presented my charts, that means if you are saying we are seeing an appreciation in the euro economy, or we are seeing an appreciation in the currency euro, then we are going to we are going to be seeing more of green candles, because of how I've presented. By the colors doesn't matter. So when you see green, that means we are expecting a buy. Okay, we are expecting a buy. So that's what we are referring to. So if I'm saying I'm seeing an expansion in euros, so what I'm trying to say is I'm expecting the euro currency to appreciate in value. And so any pair that you are going to pair it with the euro, since the euro is the base currency, we're expecting to see green candles. That's the most important thing. So with this one, what I'm going to expect is green candles based on the interpretation. But news are just they are forecast figures. This is just the data that's based on the past data, based on the statistics figures. This is what analysts are projecting. So the forecasts you are seeing over here are not real data. So the actual data is this one, when the news is being released. Okay, so if someone says he's trading news, the person is not having the actual data. It's just a speculation or a projection that he's making. So you can't be relying on those data. You can't be relying on it fully, because they are all projections. They are all data that's based on the data they've collected, or the collection of data that they've gathered in the past distance. from the past figures. So you can't rely on it fully. So the forecast means what analysts are projecting or speculating. So we have, as I said, the service usually has impacts as compared to the manufacturing. So 50.2 is above the threshold, which is 50. So they are expecting an expansion. So I'm expecting euro to move up. This is just an expectation, okay? News, everything can happen when it comes to news releases. Anything can happen. So that's why I don't usually trade news events. And when you are trading news events, your brokers are going to increase their spread. So if you set buy stop, maybe you set buy stop over here, okay? Sometimes the moment price gets to this side, you are not going to be it will move further out. Sometimes 10 pips before it can fill, because of volatility, the rapid or the fluctuation of prices, the up and down of prices, okay, the rapid movement of prices. So sometimes your price that you set over here is not going to be triggered or going to be filled. Your price is going to be filled at sometimes 10 pips above your entry, okay? And when your take profit is above here, when your take profit is here, you see you have been putting in a tight range. So that's why it's not advisable to be trading in news event. So if you want to trade the news, this is how you usually do it. You're either going to set your buy stop and sell stop. So either you are going to set it above a structure level, okay? So you choose a time frame which is very strong. So this is the structure level. So some people use candles, or you either use structure. So anytime price is going to break a structure, it means the trend has changed. So if price break above this one, you see, if price is in session, that means if price is in session, what it means is you can't conclude that price has shifted structure. But since you are trying to be an impulsive, you put your buy stop over here. But one thing is it is not certain, because price hasn't closed. That proves to you that structure has changed. But because of the volume, you think maybe it might move up. So either you place a buy stop over here, okay, you place a buy stop over here, or a stop loss, buy stop above the structure level, and sell. So this is how the market moves. It moves in waves. So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, okay? So if price is breaking this one, that means the trend has changed. So it's the same ideology, or it's the same concept that we are using over here. So the moment price breaks above this one, that means the trend has changed an uptrend. You get it? So if the market is moving back again, it is it has changed a downtrend. But you can also use candles. So maybe since the news will be released in 15 minutes time, right? So it's left with 1 minute. So you can either set your buy stop above here and sell stop beneath here. So the moment price will get here, it will get you triggered. But as I'm saying, sometimes the price you have given to your brokers is not going to be filled at the exact price, because of how volatile the market is. So sometimes you'll be filled above your entry price. So it's left with few minutes. Okay, is it time? It's left with 49 seconds for the news to be released. It's left with 49 seconds. So let's see what will happen. It's 25 seconds for the news to be released. Yes, sir. All right. Okay. So as we said, as I explained, you see the euro has appreciated. So let's check. So you have to refresh the data and see the. So it was. So you see the service PMI was 55. So it was above what they were even expected. So the what they projected, or what they projected was exactly what happened. Okay, even though the figures are not the same, but they were projecting what it would be above the threshold. So it happened exactly. So you see the service PMI was 55.0, which was above. So because if you read the details of the news, what they say is what above 50 indicates industry expansion. Okay, so expansion in basic economics, expansion. Below indicates contraction. Okay, so expansion means what? The economy is going to do well. If the economic expand, it means what? They are doing well. Their GDP and other things are going to what? Increases. So they are doing well. So below indicates contraction. And what happened was what? 55.5, which was what? Above the the threshold. The threshold was 50. So if it is above 50, that means what? Expansion. So that's why we saw what? Euro appreciating in value. Okay, that's why we saw it appreciate. So mostly the disadvantage about news event is sometimes it spoils your system, or it spoils your, what do you call it, your setups. Okay, it spoils your setups. So that's why when you have high impact news in a week, it's kind of worrying, because most of your setup you get. So you guys have been experiencing, sometimes everything was set up, and when those news events will spoil everything. Like sometimes it will move before us. That's what news events usually does. So we have an upcoming one to 7:30, which is German flash manufacturing PMI. So if not the streams, for instance, today like this, I would have been sleeping because I wouldn't have been involved in. Then I'll wait for. But I wanted to show you how like mostly it happens and how to interpret the news events. Okay. So 8 o'clock too, we have some PMI. So we have service too. Again, that's the flash service PMI. And GBP. So this one too is very impactful. The GBP one, that one too is very impactful. Okay, and you have unemployment claims. So the best time to trade is maybe 9, 10, 11. Okay, so from 9 moving, you can be taking a trade. To unemployment claims. So let's see what happened on gold. So gold is still in what? Gold is still in consolidation. Gold is still in a consolidation state. So GU2. So supposing maybe you held the trade from yesterday to today. You would have still, so you see how strong this area is. Price is still struggling to break above the zone. Okay, so that means what? The zone is very strong. It's still struggling to break it. So you see how powerful the resistance is and the supporter. So up to 9 o'clock, and price break, if price break, if price continue to what retest like that, okay, if price continue to retest like that, then this is what you have to be expecting. Then you move if price close above this one, you move to the lower time frame, like H1 for instance. Okay, so with H1 we have a consolidations over here. You have a consolidation over here. So it's not advisable. So if the price move to now, if price move we have a lot of what as in consolidations over here. So it's not advisable to what it's not advisable to be taking trades within this side. So one thing that I always say, like one thing that I always advise you people to be doing is don't be trading on support and resistances. Okay, don't be trading on support and resistance. Always make sure you are trading in a clean zone. That's the best way to go by trading. That's the profitable way of trading, and you guys have seen it yourself. That's when you are going to be confident. So you don't have to put yourself in a position where you will enter a trade and you are afraid because of what you are trading on. You are buying on you are buying on resistance, and you are selling on a support. So the next 30 minutes to the next news event is going to be released. So if you are in the YouTube channel, or if you are in the YouTube chat, if you have any question, you can answer, you can ask, and it will be answered. If you have a question, if you are in YouTube and you have a question about how I've been analyzing, what I've been, anything that I've been talking about, you can bring it on board and it will be addressed. This free education, okay? This free education, paid education. So with the Zoom session too, if you have a question, so please, the live session was open, or I designed this live session purposely for questions and answers. But if you don't ask your question, especially sending chats and those stuff supposed to be sent by this time, so that I will analyze it when maybe I'm done doing the analysis. You go through, okay? But if you ask me, sometimes you send me chat and I'll be in town. How am I going to see the price, even check the currency where you indicated your support and resistance? I wouldn't get the time to be doing those things. So the best point to be asking questions related to maybe trading is when you come to the live stream. I don't know whether some people feel shy about some things or what. This is the best place to ask your questions, because you are looking at the charts, it can be answered and other stuff. But if you are asking me outside my trading time, it's very hard for you to get response from me. Yes, sir. What was it? Mm-hmm. The body. So yeah, so this one, for instance, this is the wick. Okay. So if you're identifying the support and resistance, this is the body. Okay. So what you have to do is what? Wait for the candle to break and close above the this is the body. So if you are drawing your support and resistance, have you gone through the course? Have you gone through the course? Have you watched the videos? Yeah, so this is the body. So if you are drawing your support and resistance, you are not going to use the wick. We use the body. Okay. We use the body. So this is the point you are going to use your distance. You are going to draw your support and resistances. So when it's close above this area, you can finally conclude that what structure has been broken. Support and resistance, you are not going to place it over here. You place it what on the body of the candles. So it's left with 2 minutes for the next news to be released. So that's okay. That will be Germany flash service PMI. German flash service PMI. So let's see how that one will go. So you see why it is not advisable to be trading in it's supposed to be a place of milestone. Yeah. Now price is right. What's the range? Hello? Is it okay? Okay, maybe I was far from the mic. Okay. Yeah, even the way that lows it shows the network is very bad. 23 seconds for So I hope you've seen it yourself. You've seen the gap. Have you seen the gap? Yeah, so it tells you how impactful the news is. So it shows how impactful the news is. So at 8:30 to 8 o'clock, we have some. So today is more of high impact news. So you see the gap that it has been. So this gap is going to get filled. This gap is going to get filled. So when it is news events, kindly avoid those times. Okay, kindly avoid them. Trade when there's no. That's when you are going to. So I remember those. I remember some. What do you call? I funded those times. I funded my account like $20. I entered a trade. I never knew there was. Was it? It was interest rates on GBP. I funded my account and Charlie. I was in the trade. All of a sudden, I saw zero in my account. Not knowing there was what high impact news. So it's always advisable to. So all these things that I'm telling you is from my experience, my 6 years, 5 to 6 years experience in the market. So you don't have to be doing those things. News will frustrate you. So most of the things we did try and error and learn from, and that's the best way to go in life. You don't have to pay with your own money. News can wipe out your account, but if you're having a separate account for that, that one is cool. But don't use your whole sum or your whole account, maybe a funded account, for those things. Sorry. Yeah, it can come on any other day, but you have to be reading. So you have to be using the Forex factory, the economic calendar. You have to check anytime that you come to the market. You have to check the economic calendar and see what is happening before you even make a decision or take an action. So tomorrow is Friday. So anytime you take a trade, you first of all open the Forex factory calendar and you check the economic calendar and see whether we have some high impact macroeconomic events within the session that you are trading. Okay, so tomorrow, for instance, mostly we do the live stream on the lending session. So lending session, we are not having any high impact. So this is the time. So 12:30. So that means before 12:30, you don't have any high impact news. So you can trade freely. But when you are trading during the New York session, you have to be careful with 12:30. Before 12:30, maybe 30 minutes or an hour to 12:30, you don't have to be trading. Okay, unless maybe, as I said, unless maybe you are interested in what gambling on the price movement during news hours. But if you don't want to partake or to be doing those things, then you have to be what, avoid those times. That's the best way to go. You have to avoid those times. So the way price is rate testing on this zone, the way price is rate testing on the zones, it shows what, or it tells you how strong the zone is. Okay, it tells you how strong the zone is. So like with those beginners, what are some of the problems? Because some people watch people finish the course and they will ask you what's next again. So I don't know. What are some of the problems that you are facing? Is it that when after watching the videos you don't understand everything, or what? Please, are you people there? Just a general question. So I'm sure by 9 o'clock, this the way it has created a gap when you look at the 30 minutes. Okay. So the way it has formed the gap over here, this is what you have to expect. You have to expect a retracement to this level. Okay, so I'm expecting a flip of this candle. I'm expecting a flip of this candle too for it to move up. So maybe by 9 o'clock, I'm expecting this. I'm expecting a flip. Expecting it. I'm expecting it to flip. So so it is struggling to gold is struggling to break above the zone. Gold is struggling to break above the zone. So as I said, for me, what I will wait for, since I don't trust or believe in the lower time frames, what I'll be waiting for is what the closure of the H4 candle. That gives what a stronger confirmation. The closure of the H4 candle, then what I'll look for a buy. That's the best way to go by. Maybe a group.